Hello. All right. Let's get started then. All right. I actually have everything I need ready this time. So, we're going to be doing a half-elf. This one here upright with arm outstretched and staff in hand. He has been named, and I have started to develop a story for him that we're going to go over while we paint. So, without any further ado, let's make Brincads. So, those of you who are familiar with elf naming practices, elves have a name at childhood. It's usually a pretty short name. There's no specifics for the gender for the name. The names are fairly genderless, although they tend to be, appear at least, slightly effeminate. Not exclusively, though. Bryn, I would not consider to be an effeminate name. After their 100th birthday, when elves declare themselves to be adults, they receive their adult name. So half-elves usually, typically, have human names. That's the standard, at least, because at least most elvish cultures, as written, don't have much to do with half-elves. I think fairly specifically, high elves look down on them as almost less than human in their eyes. So, Bryn was raised by a human. His mother is a full elf, and she had to leave. She was kind of forced by her family to return home, and she was still fairly young, and as a high elf, they have very strict ideas of what family is and what family means. And in her case, it meant she couldn't stay with her lover, not husband, or her son, and she couldn't bring him with. So she had to leave him behind, but she didn't leave him alone. She left behind a great deal of magical texts so that he could learn magic himself one day, in the hopes that feeding that curiosity, feeding his desire to learn, perhaps, by stoking that fire and providing him with these tools, that perhaps one day he would seek her out. His father is a woodsman, so this character could potentially be played as a druid with the same backstory. But we're going to make him a wizard today. His father's a woodsman, and so he's learned a great deal about how to survive in the wilderness from his father. And he's a bit of an accomplished survivalist. He may not beat the ranger in skill checks or in ability to survive in the wilds or navigate through them, but neither would he be out of place standing next to the ranger on the edge of a precipice and trying to determine what the best way to navigate through the wilds below would be. He'd have something to add to the conversation. The idea is that his input would be valuable, leastwise to some degree. Unlike a normal wizard, he would be wearing leather armor, and that will be represented in his clothing, his tunic. Underneath his outer robe, he is wearing a shirt there. His tunic will actually be made of hide, inside out. And so we're going to mix some brown, yellow, and a little bit of white in order to soften it up, to make him seem to be wearing some hide armor. I think I've got most of this painted. It's really hard to tell on the inside here. It's also really hard to see inside there, so I don't think we're going to be too fussed about it. Oh god. Wow, this is a tricky mini. I don't want to ruin this brush. It's probably one of the cheaper ones if I had to replace them, but at the same time, make sure we got good coverage on that staff there. Yeah, I think we got his butt pretty well covered there. Seems like we're pretty okay in there. I think I'm just going to throw some Abyssal Black inside of there just to represent it's shadowed underneath. And we won't be too fussed about it. So the idea with this character is that his mother left behind texts where he could one day learn how to use magic himself, in the hopes that he would come eventually find her. And sure enough, even with a woodsman as a father, he took to the books at a very, very young age and began to teach himself magic. While also kind of still maintaining as a bit of a survivalist. He took after his father. He's at home in the wilds, hunting or gathering. And this is going to be represented by the fact that he does tend to wear armor. He doesn't fully rely on mage armor in order to provide any sort of protection. And the objective with this character, his long-term goal, is to eventually find his mother, declare himself an adult, and get her approval, and get his adult name. He does still have a great deal of fondness for the mother that he never knew because of the things that she left behind for him, the books and the staff. He knows that she wants to be part of his life as much as he wants to be a part of hers. Obviously, he'd have a great many questions about why she didn't stay, why she didn't refuse her parents' summons, but he wants those answers. And he hasn't written her off, and he doesn't feel like he's been entirely written off by her. And so that's the character that we're going to stat at the end. That's the character that we're going to make and how we're going to design his spell list to reflect these two dynamics of his life. The part of him that was born from his father, the woodsman, and the part of him that was born from the books his mother left behind for him. So, once this dries, we'll get started. What we have in mind is the inner tunic will be a hide turned out so that the inside is a light tan. The cloak on the outside will be a dark hunter green, so we're going to be mixing treant green and a bit of abyssal black in order to darken that up a little bit. The straps across his chest will be dark tanned leather. Excuse me. He's got a little pouch thing on his hip that could just be a sash, but we are going to make that like a simple pouch, and that will be also made of a light tan hide. The lighter the tan, the more flexible the leather is. So we're going to go with a light tan for that to show like why it's so tightly curved around his hip. It's a very lightly tanned leather, very flexible, very thin. He wouldn't have a great many things inside of that belt pouch, but that would be where he'd keep some of his spell components, like his stick struck by lightning for Witch Bolt, which I will be giving him, I believe. It's a pretty solid spell. I need to clean this up a little bit because we lost those straps on his chest. There we go. There we go. Try to clean out some of this excess so we don't lose that detailing. There we go. Okay, and then we'll clean our brush out because we will be using this to provide a great deal of coverage on the rest of them when we get to painting him. So I am thinking Witch Bolt for him. I'm thinking probably giving him pretty nature-centric spell list. That's why this character would work very well as a druid as well. His spell list would be fairly interchangeable to a degree. A druid would work well for him is the point. At least with this backstory. It is in focus, right? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. So who's my viewer here? I think that's probably Spencer, right? Or Knight, right? That's your username on here. Sup? All right. Looks like we did paint the base a little bit. Not the end of the world. Because I can always just clean that up or paint over it with some black. One thing I might do in the future is to prime these before I attach them to the base, so I can keep the base nice and clean. Looks like we're almost dry. Takes about 5 minutes, and it has been, where's my timer? About 4.5-ish. Okay. Looks like the paint on the inside is going to take a bit more time to dry, but that's okay. I think we can get started. So, let's start making our green for his robes. And that's going to be a fair bit of the treant green and just a little bit of the abyssal black. If you don't have treant green, it's basically just a mid-range green. And we're going to put good glob on there. Almost, actually, it's more than what we use to paint, or to prime, so it's going to be more than enough. And then we're going to start off with, like, yeah, like a drop and a half. And I just use a toothpick to mix, so I don't get anything too deep inside of my brushes. That's just about perfect right there. That's a good forest green right there, or pine green. Maybe even a little bit darker. I dig it. There we go. Got some underneath my fingernail. Whoopsie. Okay, and we're gonna use the same big brush to start applying our color. So the one thing we need to keep in mind with this character here is that his robes are rolled up. So his arms from like the elbow down are bare. I gotta like not block that. It's a little weird. And his robes are rolled up. So we could assume a half robe. It looks like that would be reasonable because it doesn't actually have a cuff or much of one. And we could just paint that the same, or we can mix some of the white into the same mix and lighten it up a little bit and just paint that ring right around where his sleeve ends. And I think that might be what I do. And I'm going to do that same just along the inside edge of his robes. So like the inside of his cloak is just a little bit lighter than the outside. And that's going to be just a touch of white with whatever's left. So for now, let's go ahead and start painting the outside. I'm not going to be too particular right now. I'm going to try to just paint the robe as much as possible so I don't paint his neck. But he has a couple straps on his body that I'm not super worried about because their color is about as dark, if not darker, and we can cover those up pretty well here in a bit. I do have my washes will be in soon, and next week I think I'm going to do the owlbear, and I should have some really good washes from that as well. So whatever washes I need, I should have very, very soon, and I'm looking forward to that because I can come back and I can detail this one, and I can detail last week's Mint Skin Boo. sure we got good coverage in here. Yeah, that green is going on really, really nice. Ugh, I'm leaning on my arm a little bit weird. That's better. I was getting a really weird shake in my arm from how I was leaning on it. One thing we're going to have to be careful of is this staff. Mine is curved a little bit, and that's going to make it a little bit difficult to work with. When I do the staff itself, I'm going to try to, like, pull it out of the way when I paint it. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So, we're basically done with the robe. In fact, it looks like we are, because that strap goes right over top of it. So we've got just a little bit back here I want to hit alongside his face. There we go. Nope, got his head a little bit there. Not a big deal. We're gonna let that dry a little bit and see if we need to go over it with a second layer. I already see some spots that could use a little bit more love. We're gonna try to go nice, even, and brush strokes in the same direction as much as possible. Whatever we do, we don't want the paint to dry connecting the robe and the staff. His pants, I'm going to do... Well, I don't know what I want to do first. I think because it's going to be a little bit messier, I want to knock out the abyssal black on the inside of, like, inside his robes. Actually, I might try to do it with that lighter green. I might try to do that, because then I can go over with the pants in the darker color. It won't be a darker color. I'll have to wait for that to fully dry before I do it. So, we'll let that dry a bit first, and I think we're going to try to do his inner shirt. I shouldn't need this brush anymore, though. I think we got a good even coat in there. So, we'll go ahead and set this stuff aside. And I'm going to use my second smallest brush. I just picked up a new one today, so I'm using a fairly fine tip. And we're going to start mixing for the leather. That's going to start with Bugbear Brown. We don't need much, so I'm just doing a couple drops, small glob there. We're going to add some Angelic Yellow, and we're going to see where that gets us. Oops. Forgot to shake. Forgot to shake the Bugbear Brown, too. Okay, let's see what that looks like, and we'll adjust from there in little bits. Nah, that's still pretty wet. It's alright. Toothpicks are cheap. That's not bad. We're on the right track. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And then I think I'm going to add a bit of white so we can make that look like hide. There we go. That might do it right there, honestly. No, not quite. We got mustard. That's okay. Because again, it's on the right track. We're going to add just a touch of white and try to make it look like hide, like I said before. Eek. Alright, Knight, what do you think? Probably a little bit more white? I think just a touch more white will do it. It's really close, though. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's fair. I think this will do it. I think we got it. Yeah, that's a really good tan. Perfect. Okay. It'll look better when you don't have the light reflecting on it so bad. Alright, yeah. Now you can see pretty well, right? I think that works really, really nicely. Okay. Just a touch around his neck there. Kind of like that also being part of the hide. Actually, I might make that more of a scarf. He's got like another layer in there. I might make it like a bunched up shirt. And I'm thinking I'm going to go dark with that so it stands out. I might go straight black. Get that out of there. There we go. And it does look like I missed just a little bit of green around his neck. So I'm going to use my new tiny little brush. I don't know if you can see just how small that is. It's so small. And we're just going to carefully reach in here and paint that little bit of robe in there. There we go. There we go. If the robe would dry just a little bit faster, I could paint his... I thought my hand was green. I could paint his little satchel there, too. Do I want the light leather anywhere else? I don't think so. Oh, hang on. I do. But I have to wait. I want it in his hair. He's got a headband, and I want to make that the light leather as well. But I need to do his hair first. So it might be about time to do the flump pink. And I think I'm gonna keep that same flump pink as well. Yeah, that matches pretty nicely. Okay. I think I'm gonna do that flump pink as well, because if he was a wood elf, I would go for copper, but I don't have a good copper tone right now. And I'm not entirely sure how to reach it. So, we're just gonna go with this really base skin tone here. And since we don't need to mix it, we can just drop it right up there where we got a little bit of space for it. And I'm gonna use this tiny brush again. Make sure we're nice and dry. All right. Here we go. Shit. I caught it just on... That's not putting a great deal on. I caught it just on the edge of his scarf thingy. I lost just a little bit of the color. Let's try to smooth that out. There we go. Alright, that's not doing a whole lot. So, let's try to actually get some paint on him. There we go. Try to get the right angle on this. With this magnifying glass, it's a little askew. Oh, shit. I got some green in there. There we go. So this gentleman is not bald. We don't need to go all the way around. But he does have that scarf thingy at the bottom of his neck. Or what we can turn into a scarf at the very least. So we'll try to be a little bit careful of that. And we'll try to get some of this paint out of his face, poor guy. There we go. There, we'll see what that looks like. Come back and do another layer if we have to. Let's get your arm now, friend. There we go. Go. Figure out what angle I need to be at to get this inside of his arm. There we go. I'll have to go in with my itty bitty brush to try to hit up the fold of his robe. That's okay though. That's why I bought it, right? To use it. Okay, that arm looks good. Bro, your face. Let's make it so you can see, friend. What was the reason? I'm sorry, I probably was just talking without even really thinking about what I was saying, because I don't remember what I said. Yeah, to use it? Yeah, no, it's not decoration. his upper arm here is absorbing a lot of paint by the looks of it. So we'll give it to you, friend. Okay. Looks like we did pretty well on his face. I'm gonna swoop in here just a little bit more for the back of the neck. There we go. Looks like we got pretty good coverage there. Alright. Alright, what do you think, Bren? Good layers? I think you're looking pretty good there, friend. I'm a little less certain about your shirt, though. I like it, but I don't know that it really fits what I was going for. I think it might be just a little too yellow, but I think it's okay. Here, let's see. Let me see if I can get you a better view of it. Let me know what you think, Knight. There we go. What do you think? I think it's okay. I think tanned hide is usually a little bit lighter, but I think it works. I think I'm gonna stick with it. I don't know that I'm gonna get exactly the shade that I want. I'm no artist. I was lucky to be able to get it mixed to that degree. I think it's a little yellow. Yeah, it's a little yellow. Alright. Skin looks good, though. And looks like you've dried, so let's go ahead and get that satchel painted before I lose this paint. I am using my itty-bitty brush because I don't really want to have to repaint anything that I've already done. So I'm just putting on a little bit of paint at a time and spreading it out where I need it. I realized if I added a little bit of black to this current mix, I'd have a pretty good golden. Aviva. Houdini. Don't know what to do, just smile. Got tricks up my sleeve, make you wish you could leave. I could really you. I'm good, that way you never better. And insane. So there's his pouch on his hip there. Works pretty well, I think. I think the next thing I want to do is I want to lighten up this green, and I want to start working on the detail, the trim, and inside of his cloak. I'm insane. Just a touch of white, and I want to see how that looks before I move on. Don't know what to do, just smile. Yeah. I think just a little bit more. Yeah. I want to go for just a slightly more light green. You never better, I'm in insane. I'm Houdini and shines. Yes. That's what I want. And we are going to be using the hell out of this tiny brush today. I'm insane. That is such a subtle difference, but I love it. Come on, light, stay on. I used up too much of it, and I lost all my green, which is a problem. Because looks like I'm going to have to do some touching up, and I may have to mix more of that green. Mistakes are made. Always leave some of your color remaining. You never know when you've got to go back to touch something up. Stupid. I will have to go back over it with a little bit of that leather color too, which is fine. Not unexpected. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to use this big brush and like get it. Actually, I'm not going to use the big one. I'm going to use the one that came with the Adventurers set. A little bit more control. But we are going to just paint the inside of his robes here. As much as possible, we're going to try to only paint the inside of his robes. But, you know. Already failing. Neat. I am painting the hell out of his legs. Oh, balls. Okay. I thought I painted the outside of his robe even more. Right here. Okay. I think we're gonna give him just some pretty simple brown hair. Just a bit of bugbear brown. Actually, high elf blood, right? Let's see. High elf. Blonde, platinum. Maybe we'll make him blonde. So, maybe we darken up some of the leather after we finish touching up here. We are losing this fast. I may actually need to use that hydrofoam. What's up, kid? Son of a bitch. It's going to be a back and forth with that area, I think. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth in that area. Let's do a little bit of black over here to darken things back up, and we'll try to mix in some of that green to get back to where we were, but I don't want to use all of it because I've still got some touching up I need to do. too dark. More green. Nailed it. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, let's do his hair, because I still need to get his headband done, and I'm very rapidly losing this paint. Blonde. Blonde. I think about that much yellow. It's gonna be way too much paint. But I think I only need a bit of brown in order to get where I want to be. It's like a mustard hay yellow. I need to go light, so let's add some white to that. That's looking pretty okay. Looks like a straw yellow almost. See how it looks on him. I got a bit of his ear there. Alright, it'll probably happen on this side too. Okay. Kind of like him with blonde hair. And then we'll do a, I'm gonna have to make it dark, otherwise it's not gonna stand out. His headband is going to be dark leather, so it'll be a dark tanned hide. There we go. Get that out of the way. Oh, what do I need to touch up next? Excuse me. Light green. Oopsie. I'm gonna be super duper careful so that I don't end up having to redo it again. Okay. Oh, right. I still have his cuffs to do. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is the wrong color. Almost lost that one. Alright. Just pat enough of that dry so that it is dry, so I can start painting over it immediately. I'm going to do a band around his arm here. And then paint the inside of his cuffs here. Ideally, without painting his arm. But if I do, I've got plenty of flump pink and it's still pretty wet. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would just be obnoxious. Perfect. This one's got a nice clean line that I want to use. So this band is going to go up a bit further. That one will go to right about there. Oh God. I missed a whole underside of his arm. Wow. Can't believe that happened. Wow. So I'll have to wait a little bit for that area to dry before I can finish the that band around his arm. Which means it might be time to start on his pants. I was thinking about doing those kind of like in a dirty white. So like picked but not fully cleaned fibers. I think because I want to do his boots in black because there's straps on them that I want to do in dark brown. Or just in Bugbear Brown, because I think that's a pretty solid brown to work with. So, I think I might do his pants in brown. And then I'll do his those straps in this light, so long as it stays usable. So what do I want to start with? I think I need to start with the brown. That way I can get his pants to be dry before I lose the light leather. Should be enough brown. Okay. I think I use... Oh god, which one's which? These are pretty equivalent. That one there. I think that's where it's been. And there's the other one. Paint on it, of course. I did save it. I just couldn't feel it. There we go. Okay. Okay, brown pants, brown. Brown pants. Red shirt, brown pants. Bring me my red shirt. Bring me my brown pants. Oh, nice. There we go. Give myself a nice little green spot. I need more light. Ah, Jesus. There we go. Now I can see in there better. There we go. Cleaned up just a little bit of brown that I put on the inside of his robe. So here, we're just going to get this paint on his legs because I need that dried. Painting his butt. I need these dreads so that I can do his boots, and then I can do the straps on his boots before I lose this paint. Oh, I really hope. Out of my way, please. Thank you. Bryn, you're starting to look like a person, my friend. I need more light. But I don't know how to get it where I need it. There we go, maybe? I've got to go off camera with this just a little bit. Sorry, give me a moment. There we go. Almost. There we go. Good coverage. Good coverage. I'm sorry. I had to paint somewhere that Bryn would not have liked me to show on camera. He's not that friendly. Okay. I did see I've got some spots I need to hit with this tan again. In here, because this is an unpainted area. This little light is the worst. There we go. I'm going to use some more of this green while I'm waiting for the paint to dry. I am going to touch up just this cuff here, not that cuff, the hem, all the way around. I've done it on most of him already. I'm actually going to leave the bottom of his cloak as is. I'm not going to paint it with that light green because it doesn't have a good curve to it. So I think it's intentional that it remains that solid color all the way down. He's got a border all the way down his sides though. Very light. Very light, but it matters. All right, let's finish this arm. Ah, son of a bitch. My depth perception is so skewed. It's alright, I think that works. Okay. I think I'm done with the light green. Need to get his boots. The pants are pretty close to dry. How close? I'm gonna use the little bitty brush. God, I love this brush. Its boots go up high, man. Ouch. Thumb cramping a little bit. Okay. Almost done with this boot. See if I can back this off a little bit so you guys can actually see what's going on. There we go. It's a little bit better. It's still a really weird angle, so it's kind of hard to actually see. Shit, I've got to be careful. I keep shaking him around. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to come back through with some more of the brown. That's okay though. I need more, I'm probably gonna end up having to make some more of this leather that I'm working with, because it's almost dried out. I definitely should have. I just put brown on him. Put brown on his boots. See if I can get that out of there. Come on, light, stay on. Light, stay on. Jesus. This light is not doing me any favors right now. Black, not brown. I could actually probably do this Bugbear Brown on the straps, except that his pants are already Bugbear Brown. I kind of want these straps to pop out a little bit. Oh, this is all at really weird angles. It's hard to see what's where, because it's his own body's blocking me from being able to see anything. Bryn, dude, figure it out. Yes, okay. I know where I am now, finally. Okay. Okay. Sorry, off camera for just a second. I can't actually see under this little microscope thingy, or magnifier. It's driving me nuts. Because I'm almost done with this boots here. I'm gonna have to come back through with some brown. But that's okay. You know, that bugbear brown is pretty light. I think we can get away with using that on these straps. Which means I can probably just let go of this light leather. Okay. Alright, let's let his boots dry, and we're gonna get started on the straps. The strap across his chest, the straps across his chest, and the belts. These are gonna be fine detail, because I don't want to have to touch up again. I've got enough of the green, and I think it's still enough that I can use it here in a moment, but this thing is not helping me much. Honestly, it's getting in my way more often than not. No. You turn off. You stop being a thing. I'm just gonna move this in closer so I can get up to it when I need to. Alright, we're working with brown. Okay. I gotta get closer to the light for just a moment, because I gotta work just underneath his arm here, above this satchel. Alright, here we go. Jesus. That is such a narrow spot to be working in. Okay. Arm, why are you in the way? Bryn, could you just raise your arm a little bit, please? No, that's fine too. Alright, cool. Whatever. Thanks, dude. Trying to make you look good, but whatever. Okay. Son of a Bisquick. I'm gonna have to touch that up a little bit, but at least I got the bulk of it cleaned up. Stop doing that, please. Fuck. Come here, head. Sorry, dude. I know I'm not comfortable, but you're the one that popped out of there. You're not done yet. God, that's so much better without the magnifying glass. I know it's difficult to see what I'm doing sometimes, like when I pull him close to work on him, but I'm doing detail work currently on the strap across his chest, because it cuts right along with the robe, and it was unpainted. So I had to make sure I had good coverage there without painting over the stuff beneath it that was painted. It had like a thickness on the band that I had to cover up. Alright, so that's the big one down. Now I've got these itty bitty ones across his chest here. Okay, good. And now I do it again without making the other stuff disappear. Okay, I went a little too far on that one. There we go. Cleaned it up. Okay, so that's the 2 across his chest. Done. Now we're getting some color on him. Now he's looking a little bit better. And let's hit up these belts. Eek. Brent, I need you to stay in there, man, please. I know you're getting anxious. We're almost there, but we're not quite as close as you think yet, friend, so sit tight for me, would you? There we go. Now it's a little bit easier to see him where I'm working with him at. I'll be honest with you, if I could figure out how to get autofocus to work and work properly, I would set that up. But autofocus doesn't actually work with the program I'm using. It's the only program I can use to use my Nikon. And for whatever reason, leaving the camera on autofocus doesn't make it do its thing. There we go. And one last belt. Let's get some good coverage across there. Brent, you gotta stop moving, man. We will be using a little bit of mithril silver as well for these buckles. Alright, let's hit up that headband. There's not a lot of color on top of his head right now because the pink and the yellow are fairly close to each other. So let's see what we can do about this headband here. I've got to do it without painting his ear. This headband has gotten very hard to see. sprint. You gotta stay in there, man. I'm just gonna be out of sight for a moment. There we go. It's actually starting to look really good. He definitely looks a lot more like a druid than he does like a wizard. Or even a ranger. But I don't know, I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm still pretty committed to the look. Do I have any of this? I do! Oh god. I got a little overzealous there. Let's see what all I got here. I've got like just enough maybe. I think I'm gonna see if I need any touching up anywhere. Because I don't know that I want to use it on the boots. I think I'm just gonna stick with the basic brown leather for his boots. Yeah. And it doesn't look like I need to touch him up anywhere. I think I am going to throw a little bit of white at his neck, though. Oh. I still need to figure out what the hell I'm doing with his staff. I haven't even started. I kind of want this collar to be white, like an undershirt. I was going to do like a dirty white, like it was uncleaned textiles. What are they called again? Fibers. But I don't know that I'm committed to that. I just got to be really careful going around the edge of his neck here so I don't overlap his skin, his hair, or that green on his cloak. That's a little too much. There we go. I need to work with this a little bit less. I'm gonna have to go over it. Okay, but that's okay. Because I can do that fairly easily once that dries. I've got plenty enough of both of those left by the looks of it. They're starting to dry, but I've still got some. Okay. I'm gonna try to give him some eyebrows real quick, though. And I'm going dark with his eyebrows. And I'm gonna go with a really pale blue for his eyes. Just a drop inside of there. Yeah. Actually, I really like that Kraken blue already. That's just gonna go straight in there. I was gonna mix it, but there we go. And now, touch that pale blue. Once again, I know you guys can't see, but I need to be able to see. Not the cleanest work I've ever done. Those eyes look slightly horrifying, but we're gonna stick with it. I think I'm gonna take just the tiniest bit of red. I'm gonna do two things. First off, unaltered, straight red. I'm gonna put just the smallest little gem in this headband. Right in the middle. Oh yeah, the tiniest little dot. Perfect. And then I'm gonna mix some of this red with the flump pink, and I'm gonna try to make like a lip color. That's something I didn't do last time. So I may throw some lips on our boy. That's way too much red. The flump pink dried out, so I didn't have as much of it left as I thought I did. So let's lighten that up some more. That was mostly an air bubble. There we go. Maybe that'll do it. That is violently pink. Jesus. It's more like a lot of flump pink and a tiny bit of red. That is still very pink. I want it to be just slightly more red than skin tone. Am I happy with that? No. No, I'm still not happy with that. Let me see what the skin tone looks like next to it. There we go. God, it's gonna use up so much of this flump pink. Oh, I need to get some more colors so I can like get closer from the start. Started off with way too much red. I didn't even put that much on there. I think that's pretty okay. Yeah, that'll work. Get over here, boy. Minsk. Also wipe off the excess. There we go. There we go. And next week I'll have flesh wash and stuff. So we'll probably do some, what's it called? Touch-ups? Like detailing next week. So I can apply the flesh wash and such. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the other washes. So we may not do the owlbear next weekend. but I will have it purchased by that time, so I have those colors and can start planning what I'm doing next. I think I will do the owlbear next. Oh, that's the wrong color. There we go. I forgot I had just a little bit of brown on the robe that I just had to touch up real quick. I think I need to turn this down just a little bit more. That'll work. The mic is picking that up pretty well, isn't it? I guess I'll just have to turn that down. There we go. That's a good level on there. I just have to turn my speaker down a bit. Okay. God, what to do? I still need to do his boots. I still need to finish off the straps on his boots. And then I think we can switch over to the staff, which is still, it's also mostly going to be brown. So, alright. Okay. Okay. Is that strap done? Working inside of his leg kind of sucks, because I can't see diddly squat. Get rid of some of this excess. There we go. Okay. And then he's got a strap over the boot. A short one. That was a bit too much excess. And then I still also need to clean up where his pants and boots meet. Sorry, once again, I know, I'm out of the area. It's really hard to get this camera set up in a way that captures the entire field of view without also being in the way. Gotta be careful not to press that, it's way too much extra. If I can pick some of that up, go. I can reach up inside of here and get some of these little bits that I missed too, apparently. So the pants, for the most part, seem good. I do need to go over a little bit more with the black, more than with the brown. Yeah. Actually, I think it's pretty okay. I will need to touch just a little bit with the black. Just the tiniest bit right in here. There we go. Clean the brush, get rid of that excess. Ugh, okay. And then green before this dries out. I think this green is good. It's the light green that I need. Please don't be dry. Thank you. No. No. I touched his face. Did I save it? I saved it. Okay, and I do need a little bit of the dark right over here. There we go. I went a little bit over with one of the straps. Colored just a little too far. Oh, forgot the over strap on this boot. Brush is too wet. There we go. That's black. That'll work. Okay. Okay. I don't want to grab the Mithril Silver yet because I'm not really ready for it. Okay. So the upper part, let me see if I can focus this. There you go. The upper part of this staff here, I think I'm going to do in Mithril Silver. The inner part I'm going to do as a green gem. And there's the base here. So this entire head I'm going to do as Mithril Silver, and then I'm going to do this inner gem here, this inner circle here as a green gem. The rest of the staff, all the way down, yeah, the head's going to start before the curve. And then the staff itself is going to be brown. And then the base will also be Mithril Silver. The dark wash on the head here should offer a lot of tone to that. And I'll do the brown wash on the rest of the staff with shadow, or probably hit the brown wash with the bottom as well, because I don't know that I can get too specific there. But that should offer a nice tone. So let's go ahead and knock out the rest of this brown real quick. Just above his hand up to where the shape changes on the staff. Okay, good, I'm within focus. Okay, I'm working kind of on the other side of him from where I am, so I'm having to kind of twist him around a little bit to see, but I think I've got pretty good coverage there. I may have to go back through once I do the mithril silver. Is what it is. I will have to touch this up with the flump pink. I went a little bit over there. Get up this bottom real quick. Just get the paint on here. And then this is what I was talking about, pulling them away. I think I can work around it, but when I do the wash, I'm probably going to want to be more specific. Eek. Okay. I think I've got full coverage on the staff now. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because the way the shadows hit, it's kind of hard to see on his opposite side. But I think I've got the brown sorted out. So let me make sure I don't need brown anywhere else before I give up on it. Okay. I'm still a little torn here. There is a spiral pattern in this part of the staff here that could look really nice if it's done as like spiraling wood. And I'm tempted. I'm tempted to hit it and see what it looks like. Thing is, I can always redo it if I don't like it. I can always go back over it. This would be the only part that I changed. So the rest of this I like for mithril silver. I'm trying to be careful because the gray is close enough that I can at least get a pretty good idea of what I'm looking at and if I'm gonna like it. And then I'm gonna use the flump pink here soon before it dries out on me to finish his hand. Yeah. I'm not certain yet. I'm kind of torn. I think I need to do the mithril silver and then judge again. It's not bad. Okay. Flump pink before it goes bad. It's too much. Let's see if I can use up some of this excess real quick. Okay. Okay. There we go. Had a little bit of green still left over from where I messed up and touched his face. Okay. Okay. Now we'll do the mithril silver. And there's a fair few places that we're gonna hit with this. So I want to make sure we have enough. So the bottle likes to leak, unfortunately. Okay. Buckles first, I think. Let's get rid of the excess, though. Just a touch. Okay. Okay. 2 plus 3 to attack. To attack and damage. No, I don't know. I've got to look at how staffs are actually made before I go too in depth to how I would do it. But I would make it a boosting weapon. And I would either give it some sort of affinity for earth magic, or not earth magic, but like nature-based magic, which is like anything, honestly. So potentially you could limit it, or it could have a number of charges that allow you to cast a certain spell with those charges. I want to make an emerald, I think. Give me a second, because I still have some of this dark green left, and I might use that. Emerald green. That is a fairly dark green. There's a couple different suggestions for an emerald green. Let's look at that. A $1,000 necklace. It's a very light green. I don't know that I can... Eek! Close. I don't know that I can hit that. Let's just stick with this dark green. I still have enough of it left. Let's see what it looks like. No. That's too dark. That's way too dark. I want to see what Treant green looks like. Oh god. This one's made a mess too. Don't need much. Let's try the other side. Yes. And now we just make sure we've got good fill all around our little egg-shaped orb thingy. There we go. There we go. So it's already dried. Perfect. Let's hit the front. Okay. I think that's pretty solid. And now we hit the bottom. So this is when I'm going to pull the staff away from his body so that I can actually work on it. Be careful not to bend it too far. It's pretty resilient, but the arm does flex when you put too much pressure on pulling this away. Alright, I'm going to be out of sight for just a second because I need light at an angle that I can't get if I'm keeping him on camera. Please don't snap. Almost done. Okay. Now we'll just let that staff settle for a second. Yeah, it's still bending in a little bit, but I think I've actually got it pulled away a bit more. That's great. It's a little bit straighter than it was before. Neat. Alright, let's put him into focus and take a good look at the almost finished product. All right. So, I like it. I think that came out pretty nice. I actually really do like the wood inside of here too. So we'll just change our focus. There we go. The wood in between these two bits of metal, I do still really like. In fact, I'm just gonna go through and touch up what I went over just a little too far with. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna hit in here just a little bit though. There we go. And I'm gonna try to hit that with I think I'm just gonna do the whole top in strong wash. Might just do the whole staff in strong wash. I really want to darken it up. Oh, that staff is already so much better. Holding it out like that really helped. I was a little nervous doing it, but we kept a pretty good angle. Is there anything else that needs doing besides at his feet? And even that, I'm a little hesitant to do anything with his feet or at his feet yet because I don't know what I want to do, and I'm about to get a lot more colors next week. So I may actually stop right there with the design. In which case, we're done with this part at least. I'm gonna look him over just a little bit more real quick and make sure I don't need to do anything else. Eek. Do I have some more of this left? I do. So it looks like I just went a little too far. The silver from the buckle over here, we'll just clean that up a touch. There we go. Eek. There we go. Pretty good. Not bad for a second mini. Not bad for not having a super clear idea of what I was doing in the first place. I just kind of threw this together this morning-ish. I kind of want to do something on his belt pouch, but I don't know what. Thinking maybe use a little bit of brown in order to give it some texture. We'll wipe off a little bit of excess there and try to draw a nice clean line here. Way too much. That's fine. Is it fine? I don't know that it's fine. Because I'm almost out of that one. It's almost completely dried up. Eek. Eek. Yeah, that'll work. Now there's just like a thin line on his belt, or on his pouch, for like where the flap is at. Yeah, that way. Okay, I think I'm happy with it, and I'm gonna stop now before I change my mind. Yeah, His eyes are weird. I wonder if I'll ever actually get good at eyes on minis. That's not terrible, but it's a little weird. I've got to figure out how people do eyes on minis, like if they just kind of skip them, or if they just kind of make them dark and call it good, or what. But I think I'm happy with it. All right, which means it's basically time for us to switch over to statting them out. I haven't decided what kind of wizard he is yet. So that's something else we're gonna determine. So if you have any thoughts on what kind of wizard to make him, go ahead and pop that into chat real quick and we'll take a look. This one? Probably doesn't matter. Two hours. 2 hours to paint a mini. Holy balls. Well, it's not like I'm dry brushing. I'm going into a fair bit of detail, I think. So, I guess I can't be too upset about it, right? We'll go ahead and put this stuff away. Oh, I didn't leave those out, did I? Hang on. There we go. Okay, so, what kind of wizard shall we make? I was thinking, divination's an option. Divination's not a bad option. I'm gonna get a paint case soon, because apparently I'm gonna need it. The kit that the owlbear comes in comes with 69 paints, including like 3 washes. Some of these are duplicates. Well, that's not the end of the world. Actually, I'm gonna put this away. Some of those are duplicates. Not a big deal. I can already tell I'm gonna need more Flump Pink soon, because although I only used a little bit of it, I used a lot of it just to make a friggin' lip shade. Not looking at this pearl necklace. Lol. Emerald necklace anymore. So I can close that. Ascend by the dew. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna snap a picture, get it uploaded. That way I can put it in the corner. Or at least have it on the side somewhere. Ouch. So. Here we go. Crop that down. Oh god, you can really see the mess that those eyes are. Oh yeah, that's attractive. Let's get that uploaded. Alright. Discord. Send to myself. Just do that. No, damn it. Get out of the way. In fact, I could probably just upload that to the server real quick. Minis. Well, that's not how you spell his name. There we go. Okay. So now I want to... For one, I want to open that. That's weird. Open. Let's try this. Also, not how you spell that name. That's with a Z. So I can delete that and open that, and there we go. So now we'll close that. Oh yeah, it's attractive. Jesus, look at those eyes. Holy crap. Fuck it. Upload that real quick. And I'll throw the link into the Dice Cloud later, so anyone who wants to check it out can see the stat sheet for him too. Let's get this dropped in over here though. And close the mini capture. Alright, so we are going to build this in Dice Cloud. So this will also function as a tutorial for how to use Dice Cloud. So I have already made the character, but what you do is you'd click character, and then you hit the plus that shows up in the bottom right, and you can pick the name, the species, and the gender. Doesn't matter what you type in there, everything is modified afterwards. So it fully supports whatever you want to do. It's homebrew without having to jump through any excess hoops. Dice Cloud does have a learning curve as far as learning how to code everything in, but there are a lot of tutorials on how to do it, or a lot of guides, and I am actually going to be using some of those. So we're going to pull up Bryn Cads, we're going to start in our journal, and starting with Half Elf, we're going to add all of our stuff, and we're going to do that bit by bit and live. So Bryn is a Half Elf. Alright, so we'll open that up to that, and we are doing, that's half work. Half Elf. So, it won't really matter that he's half High Elf, he's just a Half Elf. So, oh, that's another interesting take on it. The, page 38 in the PHB has a staff, actually, kind of similar. Actually, very, very similar. I think this is the same, might be the same guy, or it might be intended to be an early version of him. Interesting. The staff is done in white. That is the same staff. Fuck it. The centerpiece is done in glass, but unfortunately I don't have that's not made of the right plastic for that. So I'm pretty happy with how that came out. Oh yeah, let's turn that off. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I like the interpretation that I decided on there. Okay, so Half Elves. We're going to add proficiency, and we're going to add this saving throws real quick. So Half Elves don't get, all right, they don't get saving throws. Right. What am I doing? Add effect. So we're going to add an ability score. We're going to go Tasha's rules with this. And that is, you can basically pick whatever your ability scores are. Half-elves get a total of 3 points, no more than 2 in any one characteristic. So wizards are intellect casters, and survival is an intellect skill, I believe. Nature's intelligence, survival is wisdom. Okay, so we're going to be aiming for high intelligence and high wisdom. Primary is intelligence. Secondary will be dexterity and wisdom. Charisma will be about mid-range. Strength will be low. And constitution, we're going to hope for another mid-range roll. So let's add 2 to intelligence. And so we clicked ability scores, we left it on add, and we selected intelligence, and it'll automatically add +2 to our intelligence. And then we can just hit back, and it's already saved there. We're going to do the same thing. Ability scores, leave it on add. Wisdom, add 1. Just like that. Speed is 30 feet, so we will add that. That's going to be under stats. Speed, and we will go base value of 30. And then modifiers past this will be plus. So like if we were to take a monk, the monk would be set up so that it would add speed to the base, but our base speed value is 30. You can leave that as add. It doesn't break anything. We do have dark vision. That's not represented by anything in here. I don't think that's changed. Nope. That will be noted elsewhere. We're going to put that in our features tab. We do have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. Again, that's going to be in our features tab. But we do gain proficiency in 2 skills of our choice. And because of his upbringing, I'm going to add in his proficiency in nature and survival. Which may not be optimal, but it does match his background, and that's more what I'm going for here. So he will be proficient in nature and survival because of his upbringing. Additionally, he does gain a total of 3 languages. He'll gain Common. He will gain Elvish. And because I'm going to say that the third one that he's got would be because of dealings with his father. But I need to see... I need a good list for languages. Elvish, Giant. I kind of dig Giant. He would be working up north. This character is designed to be, because of the hide that he's wearing, it's turned inside out. It's still lined fur on the inside, so his clothing is extremely warm. So I think I'm gonna go with Giant. I don't know if the Giant gets enough love. Alright. And then we'll flip back over to Half-Elf. And that should be all we get from that. Alright. So, go ahead and check on that. And we're going to add new class, Wizard, level 1. So what we did there is we just hit the plus right there. And we created 1 rank in Wizard. I did have to type it in. That is for a reason. It allows for any class that you want to name whatsoever. Strictly speaking, you can design these so that you can have one sheet that has everything work for it. It gets a little cluttered if you don't design it right, and even if you do, it can get a little carried away sometimes. But you can set it up where it will detect if there's a rank in this. It'll give you some of those things. So, like, it'll detect if there's points or ranks in Monk, and then you can have it give you key points. Or you can have it detect for Barbarian, and it'll give you rage points. So, we are going to go with Wizard, because that's what he is statted for. And right away, we're going to add our hit dice. That'll be... Nope, not skills. Damn it. we're going to add stat, hit points, and we're going to add. So what we're going to do is wizard level, what is it again? Wizard level, I think it's in parentheses, D6. What was it again? Give me a second. It has been a minute since I made a character. I've been just running my campaign for a minute. Guide. That's the one. Tome. I think this was made by Tom Ristra. He's the guy that made this. So we're just gonna jump down to Wizard. Do I just need to open up one of my other sheets? Okay. Barbarian level. Okay, so... Right. That's not for our hit dice. So it's wizard level times... Whoops. So the average we do is 4. And then we add 2 for level 1. So we start off with 6 hit points. Hello, Jurassic. Welcome, and welcome to D&D. Congratulations on finding a new obsession. I hope the first session went well. So for level 1 wizard, we have it's a total of 6 HP plus con. Your constitution is automatically added. So I'm designing this character to just take the average, which would be 4 plus 2 for a total of 6 at level 1. And we'll go ahead and check that. So we're also going to go into hit dice. There are d6s, and we're going to add equal to our wizard level again. So it's d6 plus 1, and that'll just give us the 1d6. Great. I'm really happy to hear that, Jurassic. It's a real shame when someone finally decides to try something out or try something new and they have a bad experience, but when they have an amazing first experience, it's kind of hard to get them to ever give it up. So I'm happy that your first experience was enjoyable. So we have no armor proficiencies, which is fine. He would eventually take a feat, that's the idea at least, to get light armor. That's up to the player. It can just be thematically, he just wears hide. It doesn't have to be hide armor. That is something you can do, though, so that you can play him with actual armor on. We do get some weapons, though, for all the good they do. And that is going to be quite a few, actually, because they're individual weapons. We get daggers, darts. All these do have to be typed in by themselves. Thank you for the follow, Jurassic. Slings. Oh, hang on, no, not skills, weapons. Slings. These, yeah, unfortunately, these all do have to be added in individually, unless it gives you just a class of weapons. And unfortunately, it doesn't detect, at least version 1 doesn't, which is what we're using here. It doesn't detect if you have proficiency to automatically add it for you. You'll have to code in your proficiencies, but the weapon proficiencies will show up closer to where you have to add that stuff in at. Quarter stags. Nope. Weapon, thank you. And light crossbows. We will also add saving throws. And that is, first one's going to be in intelligence. Oh, can't type there. And in wisdom. Again, can't type there. Why am I trying? We also get 2 more skills. For him, I'm thinking we're going to take medicine. That'd be from his dad. And we're going to take Arcana from the books that his mom left him. Okay, and that's that done. We actually are pretty close to having a functioning character. aside from our equipment. But at this time, we are going to we're gonna roll for our skills. So we are going to roll by hand, even 46, dropping the lowest to get our ability scores. So I've got a 6 and 2 4s. You'll just have to take my word for it. So I've got a 16 for the first one. And we'll type that in just up here so we have it set aside. And roll again. And 2 5s and a 6. That's really good. Another 6. No, wait. 14 and 16. Okay. I'm bad at math. Alright. 14 and 16. A 6, a 5, and a 3. 9, 14. Again. Nice. So we got 3 pretty solid skills already. Hoping... Oop, need to roll 4. Hoping for an 18, though. That would be great. Okay, a 5, 3, and a 4. 7, 12. Not bad. Still a plus. Getting some pretty good skills so far. 4, 3, and 3. 10. I mean, if we can go with a 0 strength as our lowest skill, that would be amazing. One more time. Nope, we're not getting 0 strength. Oh, yep, we are. Okay, that's 12. A 6, a 4, and a 2. Okay, not bad. So, unfortunately, we didn't get an 18, but a 16 for a starting intelligence is not bad. So we're just going to modify that to 16. We're going to change our wisdom to 14. And we're going to change our dexterity to 14 as well. Okay, so that's those first 3 used up. So then we have a 12 and a 10. I'm definitely going to make the strength... I'm going to leave the strength as 10. I'm not too worried about strength for a wizard. So we are going to change charisma and our constitution both to 12. So we do have a positive con mod. Great. Okay. So, that's what our stats currently look like. We have a +6 to our saving throw for wisdom, +4 for... Sorry, for intelligence, and +4 for wisdom. +6 to arcana, +6 to nature, +4 for medicine and survival. Passive perception of 12. That's not bad. And an 18 to our intelligence because we did take a +2 for our species, or racial stats. Words are hard. Not bad. We do only have 7 HP, but wizards are perpetually squishy, and we can always supplement that with spells. Excuse me. One thing we do need to start thinking about, though, it's not super important for this stage of character creation, but we do need to start thinking about what kind of wizard we're going to be, because I am going to stat this guy out for at least a few levels. Just to have a good idea of the direction that he'd be taken in. So I don't need half-elf, I need wizard. Let's go to wizard. Alright, so for level 1, actually I can port these over, so, there we go. I'm going to go back into the journal, and into the, not half-elf, I'm going to go into wizard. I'm going to add a few things here. Now, I will, in the server, that you can find, it should be down below, there will be a link to the website that I'm using. And I'm just going to copy-paste all of these in real quick. And you want to change these over to base value. And if you multi-class, you need to change how your spells are working. There's a whole other section for multi-class spells that you can access later. So we have 2 first level spell slots. We're going to go back in spell slots level 2, and I'm going to copy that formula as well. Okay. And this will just automatically update all of our spell slots as we progress the character. That should be level 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then we'll add spell slots for level 6. And for level 7. We are actually going to like throw everything in here that's needed. And I will be sharing this sheet where you should be able to make a copy of it to borrow it if you so desire in the future. If nothing else, you basically have a fully kitted out half-elf wizard that you can start from scratch. Okay, and then Arcane Recovery goes inside the Features tab. We are going to copy that, and there's 2 things we can do with this, actually. So that's good. Features, and we're going to throw in Arcane Recovery, and we are going to color this one. For Wizard, we're going to go with blue. This blue right here, actually. And we're going to throw that description in there, and I should be able to copy this right here, and it should work as soon as I level them up. Let's test it real quick. Come on. I wonder if I don't need these. There we go. So now what we can do is you can just go into your Features tab and you can use your Arcane Recovery, and it'll tell you that you have no uses left, and then after a long rest, you just hit reset. Ink, come on. It can take a second to load sometimes. Arcane Recovery is something that comes into play at 2nd level, I believe. No, it is 1st level. Equal to less than half of your wizard level rounded up. And none of this... Okay, so perfect. Yeah, it is 1st level. So we do have 1 slot at 1st level. Perfect. And we'll go into our spell book, and you can take a look at that. We have 2 spell slots here. So if you click that one, it takes it away and shows you that you only have the 1 left. And of course, you do that again. And then to refill them, you just do that. There's actually should be... I think there's a way to make it so that it just refills automatically. Can't remember for sure. I'll have to look into it. I'll probably find it somewhere along the way. Let's see. Cantrips known. We will include this in our Features tab. Spellbook description. We are going to add a spellbook real quick. Not spell list. That's the one. Yep. Here we go. In the description, we'll throw that in there. So we know 3. Do we know 3 from the start? Wow, nice. I think we're just going to use this one here. This one's a little bit cleaner. Yep. And we are going to name this for our wizard spell list. Maximum prepared spells. We're going to copy this. Throw that in there. There we go. Wow, so we can know 5 spells right now. Is that really true? A number of wizard spells equal to your intelligence modifier plus your wizard level. Wow. We can already know more spells than we can actually learn. We need some scrolls. Let me make sure we have everything that we need here. Arcane Tradition is the other thing. Right. Let's see. We do have ritual casting. That's important to keep in mind. And we cast our stuff out of our spell book, except for what we have prepared, which is what's memorized. So out of the spell book, out of the spell book, you can cast rituals. You have to have them prepared, memorized, in order to use them in battle. Hang a second. No, that's good. I'm fine with that. Okay. So I think for the most part we are done with this part of the prep. We're going to figure out what kind of wizard we want to be. Let's pick our spells first real quick. And our cantrips. So we are going to pull from one of 3 books. The PHB, Tasha's, and Xanathar's. I don't need that right now. That's a map. So let's see what we got. Message is an incredibly handy cantrip to have. Mage Hand's great. Prestidigitation's always fun, but you do need at least 1 damaging cantrip because that is the wizard's bread and butter for a while. At least until you can just fireball everything. And then you always cast fireball. Control flames, that's fun. Mold earth, shape water, toll the dead is always a delight. That's thanks to Tasha's that wizards can toll the dead. I want to go with a little bit more of like a nature-based wood, plant, earth magic. I think this particular individual would steer away from fire, seeing it as almost purely destructive. He sees the benefit in fire in some cases, but doesn't really see it as a necessary tool for him to employ without consideration. Growing up in the forest, he's seen that fire can cause untold, almost irreparable damage. And that's not really something that he's interested in. In causing or being part of. So I think some water magic, possibly. He's probably dealt with fires and needed to extinguish them in the past. So that's something he'd probably do. And then some more nature-based. So mold earth could be an option. Let's take a look at what exactly that does. It's not damage-based, I know that, but I want to see exactly what we're working with here. Mold earth. Oh wow, is it not in there? Is it in... Where's it at? Is it in Tasha's? It's not in here, is it? Mold earth's been around for a while. Oh my god, it is in here. It's in Tasha's? No, Xanathar's. Miscredited that one. Yeah. No damage. 5. If you cast a spell multiple times, you can have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time, and you can dismiss such effects as an action. So it looks like you can just move the earth, and that's permanent. Or you can make a couple of changes to appearance, or make it difficult terrain, or make it normal terrain. And that can last for an hour. I don't know that that one fits him very well. So we're going to look and see what else we've got. Let's see what Tasha's has to offer the wizard. I haven't gotten this one tabbed, so it'll take me a second to actually find the spells. Here we go. Oh, right. It's, totally forgot. It is underneath the, that's Wizard. Alright, here we go. That's where they're at. Booming Blade, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Sword. Nope. None of these really work. A lot of the cantrips and spells that are inside of, well, a lot of the cantrips at least, were designed for making the Sword Singer not terrible. Because, Explorer's Guide to the Sword, what is it? Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, SCAG, is worst book by far. Alright, let's see. I think we're probably going to get most of our spells are probably going to come out of the PHB. It's too bad we can't get Grasping Vine or whatever that is that druids have. Thorn Whip. Thorn Whip would be a great one. This guy really does make a better druid than a wizard with the backstory that he's got. We're gonna make do, though. I want to try to avoid fire. What else do I have? Poison Spray, but poison and fire are the two most common resistances or immunities. We do have Frost something or other in here. Frostbite. Let's take a look at Frostbite. That could be an option. I want a ranged spell, though, because it's very squishy. See within range, 60 feet. 1d6, cold damage and disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. That's not bad. I do actually really like that. So we are going to give him Frostbite. Some spells do come... So if you go from spell list... Oh, hang on a second. Spell from library. My mistake. There are a good number of spells that already exist in here. There is a limit on how much of this stuff can be put inside of a tool like this before it infringes on copyrights. So there is a fair bit of typing that you have to do. The good news is that there are there's some math that already exists for the damage. Let's see if I can find. There's cantrip. I need to find scaling damage cantrip. There it is. Replace the X with the damage dice of the cantrip. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to add Frostbite. We're going to change it to a cantrip. It's an evocation. That can matter, so you do want to make sure you modify that. It is always prepared because it is a cantrip. Casting time is 1 action. Range is 60 feet. And it has a verbal and somatic component. Duration is instantaneous, not concentration. We will add the attack. And the damage is d6. So we'll leave the attack bonus. It'll automatically take care of that for us. And additionally, on next weapon attack roll before end of its next turn. And the damage type is, of course, cold damage. You can add a description in here if you like. I'll throw one in real quick. And that's what we're just gonna leave it with that because everything else is taken care of down below. And to take a look at that, we're gonna go to features, and there it is, right there. Frostbite, 1d6 cold. Target has disadvantage on next weapon attack roll before end of its next turn. I'm going to modify that a little bit. Next attack, roll. Weapon, attack, roll, made before the end of its next turn. There we go. So there's our proficiencies, you can see. So this is where you would add in your equipment, which we still need to do. But this is where you can see the stuff that you have proficiency in, so you can know what to add and where it's at. Let's see. Okay. So, we got 2 more cantrips we can pick, and we have a good damaging one, so I think we're probably gonna go with something like Message. And Light. No, he has Dark Vision. He wouldn't need Light. Dancing Lights is fun, though. Let me take a look at Dancing Lights real quick. It's not Fairy Fire, so it doesn't provide advantage, but let me see what it does do. Dancing Lights. I think he'd take Dancing Lights. That's a fun one. Nope. I want to see if I have it in here. Dancing Lights, yep, and Message. Perfect. So, let me see how this is set up. Okay, so it's just prepared. It's set up as prepared, not always prepared. That's the wrong one. Frostbite. Okay. So those are cantrips. We know 2 spells, I believe. Well, actually, we know 5. We know 5 spells. We can just only cast 2. So let's look at some, we'll want some ritual spells, I think. First level. Let's see. Mage Armor's a good one. Mage Armor's a really solid one to have in the backup. Witch's Bolt as well, for sure. So let's see what we got here. I want to add Mage Armor. I have to type in Witch's Bolt. And I want to see what other spells we get here. We get Tasha's Caustic Brew. Let's take a look at that. Tasha's Caustic Brew. Caustic Brew? There it is. Is it all in order? Like, which order is it in? Okay, it's alphabetical. S, T, still S. Lots of summoning. Concentration up to a minute. That's not bad. I don't know that it fits him, though. Okay, so Tasha's isn't going to offer us anything today. That's okay. Tasha's is pretty MVP in a lot of cases. She can take a day off. Xanathar's, on the other hand, might have something good for us. Wizard, first level. Absorb elements. Earth Tremor, that could be good. Snare. Snare, actually, I think I've seen this one before. I think that one's a pretty solid one for him. Use a rope to create a circle. 8 hours, not a ritual. When you finish casting, the rope disappears and the circle becomes a magic trap. The trap is nearly invisible, requiring a successful intelligence check against your spell save to be discerned. It activates when a small, medium, or large creature moves onto the ground or the floor in the spell's radius. 3 feet off the ground or the floor. It's restrained until the spell ends. They can make dex save to try to save. Or someone else can try to make an intelligence arcana check. Yes. I think he would have it. I think it's okay to have it. So let's add Snare, which would be first level Abjuration. Okay. It's not a ritual. Casting time is 1 minute. Range is touch. There is a somatic and material component. 25 feet of rope consumed. Duration 8 hours. Eek. Click the wrong part. Duration 8 hours. It is not concentration. Use the rope to create a circle with a 5-foot radius. Wow. You know what? I can just find a copy paste for this. 5e snare. Perfect. There we go. That'll work. And then we're gonna add Tasha, or not Tasha's, Witch Bolt. It's the only thing I really wanted from Xanathar's. So, Witch Bolt. We'll add that as well, and then we've still got 2 spells to pick, and figure out what we want actually prepared. I think at this time he would probably not have this one prepared. Why did that disappear? Okay, there we go. I was so confused for a minute there. There's a bookmark up here, change prepared spells. Whew. Totally forgot that's where it went. Witch Bolt. Witch Bolt. Okay. Let's add another one. We do have to type this one in again. But we will just copy paste it over. Evocation. It is, casting time is 1 action, range is 30 feet. There is a verbal, somatic, and material component. A twig from a tree that has been struck by lightning. Concentration, what, to 1 minute? Let's just call it 1 minute and mark concentration. Then we'll just search Witch Bolt real quick. Okay. Please stop moving. Thank you. We will be adding the attack for this as well, which is 1d12. And then that does scale with the spell slot level. Unfortunately, it's not built in to this to scale the damage, but it does. It should still work with Avray, where it'll just like Avray has stuff built in where it knows what spell you're using, or you can tell it what spell you're using, and it'll adjust for your spell slot level. Witch Bolt is going to be prepared, and I want to give him 2 ritual spells. So what do we got at first level that's fun to use? Identify is not bad. Comprehend languages is fun. Ritual spells. No, not Unseen Servant. Doesn't really fit his aesthetic. Comprehend languages requires a fairly expensive material component, as does Identify. But it's not bad. What's Silent Image? That's not a ritual, is it? Silent. Not a ritual. That's too bad. So I guess we give him comprehend languages and identify. Those are a couple of my favorites to have on standby. Comprehend and identify. And those are not going to be prepared. As rituals, they don't need to be. They just need an hour of downtime in order to use. Now we're going to finally add his gear. And then we'll talk about what he'd look like at higher levels. So we're going to give him a quarterstaff. That would take the place of his current staff. So item from library, weapons. What's that? Oh, neat. Forgot I had access to that. Quarterstaff. Throw that in there, and that's just, we're going to equip that. Just like that. There's a great deal of stuff that is already inside of Dice Cloud. You just go item from library. We're going to add his component pouch. Tools. Actually, we're going to give him a focus. What kind of focus do we want to give him, though? Arcane focus. I think it would be the crystal that's inside of his staff. So, would that be under weapons? No. Nope, nope, nope. Adventuring gear? Arcane focus crystal. Also equipped. This one actually, we're gonna delete that. We're gonna go into the quarterstaff. And for thematic purposes, it's attached. If your DM would rather not have to worry about a legacy weapon like this, then you just nix that from your inventory. You just mark the quarterstaff and the arcane focus as two separate things. But for the sake of what I'm doing, I'm just going to attach them. The quarterstaff basically just acts as his focus for now. Let's see. Explorers. So he gets a scholar's pack, or an explorer's pack, and a spell book. So we're gonna add his spell book real quick, which I think is basically just might be under adventuring gear. Spellbook. And of course, that is equipped. And then we're gonna add the pack. So there should be. I can't remember for sure. I don't think that it does have a quick add. That's too bad. So we're going to make a container real quick, because the Explorer's Pack does come with a backpack. And I believe backpacks do technically have a weight. So we're going to add the Explorer's Pack, which is on page 151 of the PHB. Backpacks have a weight of 5 pounds. So we're just going to add that real quick. And it is marked as carried, but the weight of the backpack is also going to count against us. Most DMs don't track weight. Myself, I estimate weight within reason. If it's reasonable that your character's carrying this stuff, it's fine. But once you start getting to a certain point, it's like you really need to start thinking about getting a bag of holding, or sell some stuff, or just stop picking everything up. It's not Skyrim. So the Explorer's Pack comes with a bedroll and a mess kit in a tinder box. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to add from library. Adventuring gear. So we're going to add that bedroll. Adventuring gear, we're going to add that mess kit. We're going to add that tinderbox, and we will move all this stuff over to our backpack here in a bit. This is the hard part. When you're just adding an item periodically, you can just throw it into whatever bag it needs to be in. So there's our tinderbox. 10 torches, 10 days of rations. Again, that should be an adventuring gear. Torches. Torches. Okay. And we're going to go in here real quick, and we're going to make that, 10. And we are going to add the increment button to that, so we can now plus or minus as needed. And ration. Eek. Edit that. Again, 10, increment button. Your DM may not have you keep track of rations, in which case you might as well just delete it. I do. I have my players religiously keep track of their food and a water skin. And water is also a concern. Although they have gotten to a point where they don't need to stress the water anymore, so we don't really talk about it. I assume my players know how to put on their pants. If they're at a point where they're capable of producing water or gathering it without the need of spending a spell slot to do it, or any great deal of action, I assume that they've done it. So the water skin is good. So, 50 feet of hempen rope strapped to the side of it. So we're also going to add rope. Hempen rope, 50 feet tacked in. Alright, so now we're going to go in one by one, and we're going to move this to the backpack container. Which is just right there, drop down, boom, right there. Additionally, the backpack is supposed to only be capable of carrying a certain amount of equipment, 30 pounds of gear. That said, the way it's designed is interior space is 30 pounds. So the bedroll is like strapped to the top or the bottom of it. The rope hangs off the side. Your torches might just hang out of it as well. The idea is that when you get your backpack, when you start off with that backpack, I'm just going to equip that. So water skin's just on his hip. When you start off with your backpack, it's full. There's no space. Which comes to, it comes to about 54 pounds. That's not including the 5 pounds that the bag itself weighs. So at this point, I'm at 66 pounds. I'm a little over. The variant rule there is that I'm encumbered, so I should move 10 feet slower. Generally speaking, that's fine. What you want to remember to do if your DM is tracking weight and punishing for overweight is drop your bag when you get into combat. Or try to drop it before combat starts. Especially for melee-based characters, that can even be more important than trying to get a surprise round in. Get your bag off. Again, for the most part, with my players, I assume they know how to put on their pants, and I assume that they drop their bags pretty quickly. I don't stress it. But I assume they're not fighting with their backpacks on. Yeah. Other DMs can be a little bit more nitpicky and specific, and that's a totally reasonable way to play so long as the table's having fun. So at this point, we are almost done. We are going to go over his background now and see what else we get here for this character. So, he is... We already know that he is raised by a woodsman, so we're probably going to go Swiss something with that. Hermit's an option, a sheltered community. He already has medicine, though, so I could adjust that. That's fine. And religion. I don't know that religion really fits him, so we might look for something else. Not really sage. Outlander. Outlander's not a bad option. Grew up in the wilds, far from civilization and the comforts of town and technology. You witnessed the migration of herds larger than forests, survived weather more extreme than any city dweller could comprehend, and enjoyed the solitude of being the only thinking creature for miles in any direction. I would be able to change one of his racial skills from survival. And he'd get proficiency in a musical instrument, an extra language. He already has a quarterstaff, so I don't need to worry about that. He'd get a hunting trap, a trophy from an animal he's killed, a set of traveler's clothes, and a pouch with 10 GP. So let's go with that. I think Outlander works fine. So we're going to go with Persona, background, and add Outlander. And we're going to add our proficiencies real quick. So we're going to give him athletics and survival from this, and then we're going to go in and modify our other thing. The other thing that we get is tool. He's going to be proficient in the flute. And an extra language. He's going to have... I don't know. I don't want to give him Draconic. I feel like that's so overused. Like, everyone and their mother knows Draconic, and that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm going to give him Halfling. I think there was probably a Halfling community nearby where he was living. So let's go into our journal. Oh, no, journal. And then go into Half-Elf. And we're going to change survival to... We have nature. We have Arcana. I don't think I want to give him animal handling. Maybe perception. I think we give him perception. There we go. Perception's now boosted up to 14. Passive of, or sorry, plus 4 with a passive of 14. Pretty solid. And then from here, it's just a matter of setting up his description, personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws. We will probably roll some of those. But I have a pretty good idea of, like, his bond. His driving bond is to his mother. He wants to find her so that she will accept recognizing him as an adult and finally give him his adult name. Let's see what we got. Bust out the metal dice. So, start with a D8 for personality trait. That kind of landed a little in there. 1. Driven by a wanderlust that... Yeah, no, that's obvious. Driven by a wanderlust that led him away from home. Kind of. He had a spellbooks left over for him by his mother when she left, including the staff, and her intention was to try to drive his curiosity and get him to one day want to leave home and to find her again. So I think I might do it off stream. I'm gonna type up something for that in the personality trait, and this character sheet will be available in the Discord server that you can find down below. So let's check ideals. D6. See if there's anything that really stands out. Okay, I'm just gonna roll it. A 1 again? Fine. Life is like the seasons, in constant change, and we must change with it. Yeah, no, actually I do really like that. I think that fits him really well. Okay. Bonds, D6 again. Let's roll it and see if we like it. 4. I'm the last of my... Nope. Definitely not last of his tribe. He's not really part of a tribe. 6. It is my duty to provide children. Nope. 1. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. Yes. Why are the 1s so perfect for this character? Those other ones just did not match what we had in mind for him. It's just his family. My family is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. So many of the 1s are just perfect for this character. And flaw. I'm going to leave this one mostly untouched. I rolled a 5. Violence is my answer to almost any challenge. Oh, fuck. Yes. It's not what I would envision for him. but I'm going to leave it untouched. I think growing up with his father as a hunter, it didn't give him a lot of temperance. It was a constant fight for survival, and he used his magic in order to fuel that, in order to stay alive. I don't know that that's what his mother would have really envisioned for him. It's not what she would have really wanted when she left him those spell books, but it is what happened. And I think when he does encounter her again, and he asks for her to recognize him as an adult and give him his true name, or give him his adult name, to recognize him as an elf, at least her to recognize him. That will be his greatest obstacle, is that he still uses violence so much to solve his problems. And I think she's going to call him to task for it. So yeah, we're gonna leave that as is. That said, he does still have a rule about fire. He's not particularly fond of fire, so fireball is not going to be the solution to every problem. And that's more, we'll call it a respect of the damage that fire can cause. He's not one to want to draw that out. He's seen what it can do, and he doesn't want to be the one that does it. Left unchecked, fire is purely destructive. So this character will be posted in my server. You can find that down below. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to do this every week when I can. So the next one will be Saturday. Yeah, let me get down to there. There we go. Saturday, the 12th. Same time, 4 p.m. here on Twitch. If you join the server, you'll get a notification ahead of time and kind of be able to keep up with what's going on. Next week is going to be mostly focused on detailing. But yeah, feel free to come check it out. We'll discuss, well, if I can get some people in here, we'll discuss my campaign, such as has been shown to my players already, just in case they see this. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and good luck with painting your own minis and making your own story.